Good morning again, and I'm once again Dr. Michael, and I welcome you here to the Center for Spiritual Living. I am so grateful that each and every one of you is here today, that you've chosen to be in this time, in this place, and I have so much gratitude for all that has already occurred this morning, to Joel and Paul for the music, to Reverend Doug, to Rick, to our beloved Bruce, to Reverend Beverly and Laz that did the 9 a.m. meditation, to all the people that are doing the sound, Peter that has already given us some words of wisdom, and there's just so much that is overflowing and expressing here. I feel like we could just call it good. But you know, I'm a minister and I do have some time, so I am going to speak as long as I have your attention.
Because I'm
grateful for our practitioner, Tim O'Connor, who is holding high watch today, holding that consciousness and that space that everything is going to be absolutely divine.
Until one or two things.
I remember when I first met Ricky, and he really had a lot of twitches going on. And now he's so peaceful and so calm. And so much fun. Yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. What a great time we're having in this 40 days of prosperity. All year we've been using the book by Raymond Charles Barker and Ernest Holmes that was titled 365 Days of Richer Living. And out of this I've been selecting the daily affirmation or the daily phrase that shows up in that book in order to guide my talk, to lead the direction of what I was going to speak about. And so much of what has already been spoken about this morning was in that passage. Today's passage was about the light that shines from within, the illumination of that divine intelligence that is already there within each and every one of us. And that it is our opportunity, it is our purpose, it is our experience and expression as we step into the world in this physical form to allow that light to come forth, to manifest and to demonstrate all that we desire, all that we want, all that is good. For we know that in the words of the Master Teacher, Jesus, who said that I am the light, referring to each and every one of us, that already the kingdom of heaven is here, it's available, and that we can have this right now in this world, in this form, and in this way in which we live, if we just simply choose to do so and step into that light, into that illumination, and be the magnificence and the lavish and the wonderful experiences and expressions that we are. What an opportunity that we have, and how many of us are taking that opportunity? How many of us are willing to do the work where we can step up and step out and be that magnificence, to be in the light? We live in a world that oftentimes shows up for us in this belief of duality. It's part of somehow the way in which we've been wired. It's the way in which we have come through the evolution of consciousness as a human being. Because truly, each and every one of us is eternal, immortal, and absolute. We are first and foremost spiritual beings having a human experience experience. And if spirituality is the truth of who we are, and as our founder Ernest Holmes says, that there is a power and a presence that is available, ready, waiting upon our use of it, that we can bring forth into our experience the greatest joy, the greatest abundance, the greatest love that we could ever imagine, and then some, if we were just willing to use it. But in our idea of duality, we get caught up and we forget that. We don't remember who we are. We start thinking that we are, something else that kind of like showed up out of a ball of clay, and it got formed, and it was like, okay, well, you're going to be male and you're going to be female, and you're going to be a doctor, and you're going to be a lawyer, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. And sometimes there's another voice that comes around that we call this collective thought, where people start saying, but not you. You can't do that. You can't be that. You can't live in that experience. And then they start giving you a whole list of reasons why. They want to tell you why you can't do that. Mostly because they're probably trying to redirect the attention away from themselves, because they don't believe that they are powerful enough to be something great and magnificent. So in order to build their own self-esteem, to kind of like boost up their own ego, they want to make everybody else less than, because then they get to look better, they think. It's a false belief that we work with in this idea of being in the human experience. But the truth of the matter is that each and every one of us is divine. Each and every one of us is born of the light. And all of the scriptures, and all of the works, and all of the faiths, and the traditions, and the cultures, they speak about this idea of the light. Not every one of them understands it. Some of them have camouflaged it. Some of them have twisted it and made a spin off of it in order to create more for themselves and a little less for you, out of that idea of there's not enough, that there's lack in their limitation. But they all speak about light. It's by no accident that at this time of the year, when we are looking at how the planet is tilting and spinning, and the days are getting a little bit shorter and the nighttime's getting a little bit longer, that we start talking more and more about the light. Because we don't really like the darkness. When it gets dark, we get a little uncertain. We get a little nervous. We get a little twitchy. Because we want the light shining. We want to know that it's brilliant out there. And so in every tradition, it's like this is a celebration of light. Whether you're going to celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or some pagan holiday, where you recognize that the sun is reaching that apex in which it's going to then start getting longer days. It's all about the light. Everybody's talking about the light. And the light is within you. The light generates from the essence of who you are. There's a little song that we played, Mary and Jazz, and who else was in our ukulele group? Ross, This Little Light of Mine. I chose not to bring my ukulele today. I know you're grateful for that. But we talk about the light. We talk about the light shining. Ernest Holmes, in